What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Athletic Avenue. Today we're looking at why the NFL is getting softer nowadays. It's a fine line that the NFL walks in the 21st century. As evidence mounts about the severe long-term effects of head trauma, the NFL has made player safety a point of emphasis over the past several seasons. However, as the NFL makes several rule changes to the game safer, quote-unquote, some critics have questioned whether the game that remains is actually football at all. Could the NFL be killing the sport despite its efforts to save it? The latest rule to draw the ire of some players and fans is the crown of the helmet rule that was instituted a couple years ago. Outside of the tackle box, both offensive and defensive players are no longer allowed to lower their helmet before initiating contact. The most effective position will be the running backs, who can no longer drop their hats and bulldoze their opponents. The rule was met with derision from players on both sides of the ball. Minnesota Vikings defensive end Brian Robinson took to Twitter to voice his displeasure. Chicago Bears running back Matt Forte all but said that he'll ignore it. Forte wasn't the only ball carrier who wasn't happy. Ray Rice of the Baltimore Ravens echoed those sentiments, telling Ryan Mink of the team's website, quote, "Not one running back, you ask anyone in the league, not one is going to change their game. People are just going to have to deal with the consequences that come for the first couple of years of this stupid rule." All-time greats such as Eric Dickerson bemoaned the rule, although Alex Marvez of Fox Sports pointed out an interesting fact about Dickerson's issues with the rule, and that's the elephant in the room. The NFL may proclaim that they're all about player safety, but attempts to stretch the regular season to 18 games seem to indicate that concern has its limits. However, you can bet the rent that the NFL will do whatever it can to protect its investment. The horror stories of the post-NFL lives of players like linebacker Junior Seau on the San Diego Chargers, who committed suicide back in 2012, and the long-term dangers of repeated concussions are pretty bad for business. So are multi-million-dollar lawsuits in the face of ever-growing medical and anecdotal evidence suggesting that long-term effects of concussions are exponentially more severe than was believed even 20 years ago. The NFL's hands are tied, so any number of rules have been passed, kickoffs were moved forward, and the three-man wedge on returns were outlawed. And if you launch yourself through the air at a receiver, you're gonna get flagged, fined, and possibly even suspended. These rule changes have shown both on the field and in the players' wallets. As this chart shows, personal foul penalties jumped by over 30% from 2009 to 2012. Fines, on the other hand, have eclipsed $2 million in 2 of the past 3 years, according to JustFines.com. In 2019, they approached the $3 million threshold. And the problem, in the eyes of many fans, is this. That hit would be a penalty in the NFL. In fact, as the result of a new rule instituted by the NCAA this year, South Carolina defensive end Jadeveon Clowney would be ejected if that happened again. Fans across football love plays like that. It's quite possibly the best hit I've ever seen, and when rules are instituted that effectively ban them, you get responses like Robinson's and this one. On some level, their outrage is at least understandable. Football and hitting are inextricably linked. Contact is as much a part of the sport as touchdowns, and more than a few fans would much rather see a big hit than a long pass play. Every one of those hits is illegal by today's standards, and yet that video is all but guaranteed to draw at least one "ooh" from everyone who watches it. It wasn't that long ago that we were celebrating something like that. Fans look at million-dollar football players, many of whom don't like the rules, and say, quote, "Hey, football is a dangerous game. The players know that going in. Let them play." The problem with that thinking is that the long-term dangers of the game are only now beginning to truly come to light, and even then, good luck convincing young men in peak physical condition that the future risk isn't worth the present reward, especially when they are doing what they love. There are other steps that can be taken too. The new rule forcing players to wear thigh and knee pads is a step in the right direction. Improved helmet technology and making players wear better fitting helmets is an even better one. However, to say that the crown of the helmet rule or any of the recent rules changes is making the NFL soft isn't really true. Bigger and stronger players are flying around the field faster than ever before. 320-pound linemen still dish out all kinds of punishment in the trenches that most fans would not even notice. Seriously, spend a while watching an offensive lineman, receivers blocking downfield, or a linebacker trying to fight his way to that running back who can't drop his head anymore. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video of Athletic Avenue. If you enjoyed, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below your favorite part of the video. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.